Welcome to our Sikai Sansar YouTube channel. Today and again, all the seconders are welcome to our English class today. Today we are going to do grammatical solution of the previous SE question 2081 that was asked in Koshi province. Under the grammatical parts, there are two types of grammatical parts. The first one is a reproduction part, and altogether 6 marks is allotted to that very part, and 5 marks is allotted to the second part, where we choose out of the options given there. Dear students, today we are going to do the first part, reproduction part, where 6 different grammatical items are given there, and we will do the basic things for that very portion, and then 6 different parts will be solved. Under this very part, mainly question tag, transformation, and then tense, reported speech, and passive voices. These different parts are given there. According to the essay question 2081, the first question is given about the question tag. And then, now I am going to write that very question tag asked in that very question in 2081 of Koshi province. Let's write that very question, and we will discuss a lot about that very item. The first question is, the house looks, the house looks very expensive, and we have to supply question tag here. Question tag. This is the question that is asked related to question tag, and it is taken from the first question of the SAE question. And the house looks very expensive. Let's talk about the different parts of this very question. The house, it is the subject. Looks, it is the verb, and very expensive, it is the objective. Okay? And then here, what happens? First of all, we have to know what type of sentence is it. In which tense is this sentence given? While talking about the structure of the question, let's look. The house looks very expensive. Do you know, dear students, what tense is given here? Yes, as you have told me, this very question is in simple present tense. Yes? Have you got the point? Yes, the sentence is in simple present tense. And what type of sentence is given here? Is there any auxiliary verb? My dear students, can you guess? Is there any auxiliary verb in the question? The house looks very expensive. Do you see any auxiliary verb here? No. Okay, you have told me no. So there isn't any question. Okay, there isn't any helping verb or auxiliary verb. If there was any auxiliary verb or helping verb, that will be better, because we need an auxiliary verb to supply or to change into question tag. So here there isn't given any question tag. Okay, there isn't given any auxiliary verb. Let's check about the questions having auxiliary verb, and then we will come back to this very question. Look, he is a doctor. He is a doctor. It is a question for supplying question tag. Dear students, look on the board. Okay, he is a doctor. Here, he is the subject. Is the main verb as well as the auxiliary verb. So is here, and our doctor is object. While such type of question is giving there, or when we find such type of question, what we have to do? You know, my dear students, you have already got the point. First of all, we have to take the auxiliary verb. Let's solve this very question. He is a doctor. Okay, what's the auxiliary verb here? Here, the is the auxiliary verb. So here, first of all, we write is. And my dear students, you know that when the given sentence is affirmative, we have to make the negative tag, and if the sentence is given negative, we have to supply the affirmative tag. But what happens here in my example? Here, he is a doctor. It is an affirmative question, affirmative sentence. So now we have to supply negative tag. Did you get the point? Yes, you have got the point. So now, while supplying question tag for this, we have to write like this. He is a doctor. Is the auxiliary verb and not is needed. So in question tag, not is written in contracted form. So we have to contract here. While contracting not, it becomes isn't. And after that isn't, we have to write the subject in pronominal form. But how lucky we are here in this very example, he is already a pronoun. So we have to supply the pronoun. But remember, my dear students, while writing pronoun there, we have to write in a small letter because it is in the middle. So he is a doctor, isn't he? So now it is the solution. So here, as we have done this, he is a doctor, isn't he? Like this, it is simpler than that very previous one, because in the question there isn't given any auxiliary verb. So now, did you get the point? We need the auxiliary verb while changing in question tag. So now I move towards that very original question of AC. Okay, let's omit the example here and then we have to move there. Look, the question is, the house looks very expensive. In my earlier example, there was the he means a boy, so there was the human being. But what happens here, the house, my dear students, do you know what type of subject is it? It is the thing, okay? The house is a thing. So what type of pronoun should be supplied for the thing? Okay, you have already got it. If it is in present tense, we have to supply it. So let's go there. And another point, do you know again, the house looks very expensive. What type of sentence is it? It is the affirmative sentence. So what type of question tag do you have to supply? Yes, as we have exemplified earlier, the question tag should be negative. So let's do. And then, is there any auxiliary verb? No, there isn't auxiliary verb. But again, another problem comes here. What type of auxiliary verb do we need here? Okay, let's look the sentence. The sentence is in present tense, and then the verb is in B5. As we have discussed earlier, when there is a B5 form, we have to need does. If the verb in the sentence is a B1, we need to do. If the sentence is given in simple past, we need did. But here it is in V5, that means simple present tense. So if the verb is in V5 form, we need the does. So let's do this. Okay, look on the board very seriously. Okay, the house looks very expensive. Very expensive. We don't have to forget to supply the comma there. Okay, after copying that very sentence, we have to give the comma there, and now we have to start. So there is the V5 form, and then we need the does. Auxiliary verb is does. So here we have to write does. And again, okay, the house looks very expensive. It is in the affirmative form. So when the given sentence is in affirmative form, we have to supply the negative tag question. So look, again we have to contract that very not here as we have done earlier. So look, doesn't. Okay. And then now here, what is the subject? The subject is the house. The house is a singular subject, and again it is a thing. Okay, so we have to supply it. The pronoun for the singular, okay, for the thing is animal, bird, thing. We need it, so we have to write it here. And finally, we don't have to forget to write the question mark. So, how we have solved? Dear students, look seriously. Okay, the question is, the house looks very expensive, doesn't it? Right? So, hence, we can solve the problem. I discussed about the simple present tense. Relating to this very question, let's do more examples. More extra examples are really needed for the student. So let's do other some examples related to question tags. Okay, we have done. The first one is having V5 form. Now let's go to do another one. They buy a pen. Okay, suppose in our question, if this kind of question is given here, they buy a pen. Again, let's evaluate, analyze. Let's do analysis. Okay, the subject is they. Buy is the verb. Earlier there was a V5 form, but look, my dear students, here buy V1 is given there, and my pen is the object. Okay, they is the subject, buy is the verb, and a pen is the object. Okay, again, what happens? The sentence is also in simple present tense. Again, we don't have any auxiliary verb. Look there, only the verb buy is given there. So, when the verb is in present tense or in plural form like do, write, say, read, at that moment we need do verb. So let's change it. Let's apply the question tag. Okay, they buy a pen. Okay, give their comma, and then, okay, buy the V1, so we need do. Okay, again there isn't, okay, not in the sentence, okay, it is in the affirmative form, so we need not. And we have to contract again as we have done earlier. So don't. And what is the subject? They. They again, it is in pronominal form, it is a pronoun. So we have to write in proper form. That means T earlier here is the capital, but now it comes in the middle. So we have to write small letter. So don't they. Look, hence we can solve the problem given in the present tense. Look here, they buy a pen, don't they? So it's the correct answer, correct question tag here. So what happens if the question is given in simple past again and negative also is left there? I do one after another, so gradually. So my dear students, look very seriously here. Okay? Okay, let's take another example. The question is Ram doesn't play football. Ram doesn't play football. When this type of blah 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 and question mark is given, at that moment we have to know, oh, question tag is needed there. Look here again. Ram is the subject, okay? Does plus not, contracted form, that is in negative form. Play is the main verb and football is the object. Look here, earlier we did many affirmative sentences And again this very sentence is in also present form, right? So let's do these very things. Okay, Ram doesn't play football. Ram doesn't play football. So now it is very easy because we need an auxiliary verb, but here does auxiliary verb is already arrived there. So we have to write does here. And as I have told you earlier is that if the statement is given in negative form and tag becomes affirmative. So look here, Ram doesn't play football, does, okay, then. And what about the subject? As I have told you earlier, when the name is given there, we have to change into pronoun. So Ram is a boy, and the pronoun form of the boy or man is he. So now we have to supply pronoun he. So look here, question mark is there at the end. So how we have changed? Ram doesn't play football, does he? Right. So it is the sentence having negativization or negative form that we have changed into, okay, that we have supplied the required question tag. Now let's check another simple past tense having no auxiliary verbs, right? Okay, let's make another sentence. Look, I think, my dear students, you are getting my points so easily, so nicely, because I am giving lots of examples here. Let's look another example. Hari killed a snake. Okay, suppose it is given the problem. Hari killed a snake. Let's look what type of words are there. Look here. Hari is the subject. Killed is the verb. Now it is different from earlier. Previously we used present forms, but here B2 form kill, killed, killing, kills. So verb second is a simple past form of verb is used. A snake is object. Look here. Again, tell me, my dear students, is the sentence in affirmative or negative form? Yes, you are right. The sentence is in affirmative form. So in this very case, we have to supply the question tag in negative version. So, and again, the what type of verb is given there? B2 form or past form is there. So now we need what type of auxiliary verb? Okay, do or does, that we used previously in present tense, but now killed is there. So what is the past form of do and does? Oh, you are correct. The past form of do or does is did. So now we have to supply did here. Look, let's solve the problem. Okay, Hari killed a snake. Okay, what did we need? Okay, did. Look, as we have discussed earlier, again this sentence is in affirmative form. So again we need did. Okay, not. So we have to contact again didn't. And let's look the subject. What is the subject? Hari. Hari is a third person singular. And what is the pronominal form of Hari? Again, as we have did earlier, the pronominal form of Hari is he. So we have to supply he. Look. So Hari killed a snake. Didn't he? Right. It has okay, here we did past tense as well, and there wasn't any negative form. But now let's look another example supplying affirmative tag. Look, let's make another sentence like this. Okay, Prayas didn't Prayas didn't write a story. Look, another form of sentence. Let's do analysis of the sentence. Okay, Prayas is the subject, didn't, that is verb to and not, so the sentence is in negative form. Right is the B1 because there is a deed, so it is B1, and a story is the object. Look, earlier we sort the questions, we supply the question tags having affirmative form, and then we say didn't, he, doesn't, she, like this. But here the sentence itself is in negative form. In this case we have to supply affirmative question tag. Let's do this very job. Okay, Prayas didn't write a story. Comma is always there, so did already, that is given here, so we can put that very did in front of the question tag, so did comes here. Okay, now we don't need any not because the statement, given statement is already in negative form, so we are going to supply the affirmative question tag. Look, did, and what is the subject? Prayas. Prayas is a boy, and then what is the pronoun of Prayas? Yes, as you have told, you are right. He, because Prayas is a boy, so he. Did he? And then finally question mark. So, my dear students, I think on the basis of the SE question given in Koshi province, the first question about the question tag, I think I have made you clear because I supplied many examples on the board, and if you go back gradually, you can get the point. Okay, that's all about the first question about supplying question tag. Now we are going to question number next. Out of that very reproduction, why is it called reproduction part? Do you know? Yes, you know. Because the questions are given there, and on the basis of the given clues, you have to generate a new sentence there. So it is called reproduction. Now the second question is, did Grishma go to university? Change into statement. Okay, again transformation is given here. Look here. Number 2, did Grishma go to university? Okay, and it is given change into statement. Change into statement. Look here, whatever we have been doing discussion, all things relate between each other. Okay, in question tag question, supplying question tag, we discuss a lot present tense, statement, past tense, negative, affirmative. Again, same thing is coming here. Did Grishma go to university? It is a question. My dear students, do you know what type of question is it? Yes, as you have told, it is yes no question. There are mainly two types of questions, WH questions and yes no question. So WH questions are the questions starting with the WH words, and then yes no questions are those questions which are started with auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. For example, do, does, did, have, has, had, may, might, can, could, shall, etc. So let's look here. Did is the auxiliary verb here. Grishma is the subject. Go is the verb. Okay. To is the preposition, and university is the object. Okay. So the question says, did Grishma go to university? And now we have to change into statement. Statement means general sentence, okay? Assertive sentence, let's say, most of the time. So we have to change into normal sentence. That means we have to change the question into a sentence statement. So as I have told you earlier, did Grishma go to university? It is an auxiliary verb. Now, can you tell me what tense is used here? Oh, you are telling me correct. When there is a did, the sentence is in simple past tense. Did Grishma go to university? It is in simple past tense. So now, look here. Due to this very did, go is V1 here, because the past form is declared with the did. So first of all, while changing into statement, we have to write the subject at first. So what is the subject here? Yes, Grishma is the subject. So we have to write Grishma at first. Look, Grishma. Okay, Grishma is the subject. Now, Grishma go to university, okay? Go is there. Why there is B1? Because there was a did. So now, while changing question into statement, we have to use the B2 form. Okay, what is the B2 form of go? Go, went, gone, going, goes like this. So, B2 is went. So, Grishma went to university. Now it has become a statement. Look there, Grishma went to university. The question was, yes, no question was, did Grishma go to university? Yes. Now we have changed, Grishma went to university. Okay, it was given in the question, but let's look more other examples as well. Only by solving this question, you may not get the proper ideas. So let's look other examples as well about this very type of question. Okay. Another question, let's look another SN question. Does Ram help her? Does Ram help her? Look, earlier there was a past tense, now there is present tense. Why? Because does is given there, and here V1 is again here. So let's do analysis about the words there. Does is the auxiliary verb, Ram is the subject, help is the verb, it is in the V1 form, and her is the object here. So now we have to change into statement again. So as we have done earlier, we have to do the same thing. First of all, we have to write subject. What is the subject here? Okay, look, you are telling me Ram is the subject. Okay, Ram is here. So Ram itself is the third person singular subject. So what we have to know? Third person singular subjects always agree with the B5 form. Okay, so that the does was used there. So now here we have to use the B5 form of help. So Ram helps. Okay, when we add S or ES with the main verb, that becomes singular. So Ram is singular, and again we have made verb help is also singular into changing into helps. So Ram helps her. Ram helps her. And finally, we have to write the full stop. If we give the question mark, that becomes question. And then when we write the statement, we have to supply the full stop. So let's look here. Does Ram help her? Now it is changed into a normal statement. Ram helps her. So we have done the simple sentence as well. Let's look at another last example about it, and then we will move to another question. Okay. Right. Do they play chess? Look, another question. Earlier, the question was given in the simple past that we did from the question said, and again we did another simple present having third person singular. Now let's do the plural, okay, the sentence having plural subject. Do they play chess? Look, do is the helping verb, they is the subject, play is the verb, it is in the B1 form, present form, and chess is the object, and question mark is there. So now here it is the yes no question. Do they play chess? Okay, now we have to change it into statement. Look, what is the subject? Okay, they is the subject. So while writing they, we have to write the capital T at first. Okay, they. And what is the verb? Play is here. So play is the P1, okay, and they is also plural form, and play is the plural verb. So we don't have to add anything here. So we can write the same form here. They play. And then object is chess. They play chess. Hence, we can change questions, yes no questions, into statement. They play chess. Okay, my dear students, I think now I have made clear all the different tenses if they are asked in yes no questions form, and now you can change into statement very easily. If you are confused, you can go back to see all the examples that we have done, and then you can get the right information. Okay? Okay, that's all about the question number 2. Now we move towards the question number 3, and let's look there. What is given in question number 3? Okay, here is a question set in front of me. Okay, the third question says, okay, Anusla's shop is in the city center. Change into where question. Okay, earlier we did yes no question. Now here another question is forming the statement into WH question, where question, and then the question says answer rules. Okay, answer rules. Shop is in city center. Okay, city center. Ansarul shop is in city center, and the question says change into where question. Where question. Look, in our exam, okay, yes no questions are asked, WH questions are asked, so we have to do preparation about these things, okay, very nicely, very clearly. So let's look here. Ansarul shop is in city center, okay, and then we have to change into where question. So first of all, what we have to know that, what type of question are we going to do? Okay, WH questions. So where, that is also fixed here, right? So while changing answers into questions, okay, or statements into questions, we have to know what is the answer of that very WH question. When there is a where question, we have to know the place is its answer. So in our question, the answer should not be included, right? And if there is a who question, person is the answer. If there is which question, thing is the answer. If there is where question, okay, place is the answer. So we will try more other examples later. But first of all, let's change this sentence into where question, and then I will bring lots of examples, okay, later. Look. So it is directed as a where question. Make where question. So why not to write first of all where? Okay, let's do. There is a where. Look. Ansarul's shop is in city center. Ansarul is the subject, okay, Ansarul's shop is the subject, is the auxiliary verb, again it is main verb as well, and in is the preposition, city center is the place. So where, so when there is where, no need to write city center. And then what is the tense? Ansarul's shop is in city center. So is, when is there is, it is in simple present tense. So when there is a auxiliary verb is given, it becomes more easier, okay, easier than other. So what we have to do, we need auxiliary verb here. So where, look, let's write is, where is, and then what is the subject? Ansarul shop. Where is Ansarul shop? Where is Ansarul shop? Look here. Where is Ansarul shop? Okay. Okay. Where is Ansarul shop? Now we have changing into question. So there is the full stop. Again we have to supply the question mark. Where is the WH word? And there was the is. Okay, is already given in the question. So same is okay written here. So where is Ansarul shop? Now we have changed the statement into okay WH question. And the city center, it is the answer. So if we include the answer in the question, that will not become a correct question. So where is Ansarul's shop? Now we have changed that given sentence in WH questions. Okay, let's look other simple examples as well. Look, we can make many examples to support, to solve this very question. Look, Ram Bahadur, okay, Ram Bahadur works very hard. Ram Bahadur works very hard. Let's look. Ram Bahadur works very hard. Okay, let's change into who question. Look, who question. The statement is Ram Bahadur works very hard. Ram Bahadur is the subject. Works is the V5 from main verb, and very hard. These are the okay verb adverbials. Okay, so adverbs. Look here. What tense is used here? It is a simple present tense. And is there any auxiliary verb? No, we don't have. Okay, that is not given here. Again, when there isn't any auxiliary verb, we have to search, we have to seek according to the statement's formation, tense, its situation. So who question, we have to make who question, and when there is who question, Ram Bahadur, the person, becomes the answer. So we don't have to touch the person here. So first of all, let's write the question word who. Okay, we can solve like this, who. Okay, now we need the auxiliary verb. The verb is in V5 form, so we need does. Okay, because that is in singular, and again we need also the singular auxiliary verb. Okay, who does? Who does? And then what is the form? Work is there. Who does work very hard? Okay, who does work very hard? Look, hence, as we have discussed in question tag as well as in transformation, same formation, the searching for auxiliary verb, the concern of tenses, all things correlate between each other. So we have to know all the things so clearly. So look here, Ram Bahadur works very hard, okay, while changing this very statement into who question. Okay, who question, it happens like this. Who does work very hard? The answer is Ram Bahadur. Ram Bahadur works very hard. So as given in the book, we did another example. Let's do another one more, and then we will move another type of question. Okay, that is Gita's house. Look, that is Gita's house. Now we have to change into, okay, let's change into which question? Okay, it is also another WH word, which. That is Gita's house. The statement is given. That is Gita's. Which one? That is. So now we have to change this into which question? Let's write. Okay, let's discuss about the what's there. That is the, okay, that is demonstrative pronoun. Okay, is the auxiliary verb. Gita's house is the, okay, object here, Gita's house. So let's change into which question? Okay, of this very which question, that is, okay, that one is the answer here. Okay, that is the answer. So we don't have to write that in our question. So we are going to change the statement into which question. So first of all, we have to write the WH word or question word, which, and Gita's house, it is the singular again. Okay, it is also in present tense. So which is Gita's house? Which is Gita's house? So hence we can change any statement into WH questions, okay, or questions into statement or statements into question. Hence we can change such type of questions into statement into question. I think, dear students, now you have got the clear information about transformation, right? Changing statements into questions or questions into statements. Okay, now we are moving towards another question. The another item in, okay, we have done, okay, tag questions or question tags, and then transformation, changing, okay, yes no question into statement, and again statement into WH questions, and another might be about the tense. Let's look another question number 4. Perhaps there is given to use the proper form of the verb. Okay, let's read the question. Now there is the question in front of me. Pemba finished her assignment before her teacher arrived. Use the correct form of the verb. Okay, finish. Pemba, look, the question is like this. Pemba, okay, Pemba dash 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 finish. Okay, dash 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 finish. Pemba dash 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 finish her assignments. Her assignments. Pemba finished her assignments, okay, before her teacher arrived. Before before her teacher arrived. Okay, here the finish. Okay, finish is the given verb, and what we have to do is that it is related to the tense. Okay, how to use proper tense in the sentences. So this is given here, right? Pemba finish her assignments before her teacher arrived. Two different things are given here, two different parts. Look here, Pemba, okay, finish her assignment and before her teacher arrived. So what type of action is happening here, and what type of clauses are given here? Let's look here. Pemba finish her assignment before her teacher arrived. Look, before her teacher arrived here, simple past tense. Okay, simple past tense is used here. And what is the series of activities? What is the series of action? Teacher, okay, arrives there, okay, and then she has also finished there. Finishing assignment and arriving teacher, these two actions are happening together, okay, but one is happened a little earlier and another one is happened a little later, right? Let's examine. Pemba did finish her assignments before her teacher arrived. When the teacher arrived, Pemba finished earlier. So in this very case, what happens? If the two actions happen a little before and later, the before happened action is written in past perfect tense and the second one is written in simple past tense. Look here, before her teacher arrived, arriving teacher happened later, okay? Pemba did her assignment before, finished her assignment before. So finishing assignment is happened before the teacher arrived. So arriving teacher is written in, that happens later. So it is in simple past tense. But a little earlier, Pemba finished her assignment, that should be written in past perfect tense. So now here we have to supply past perfect tense. Okay, my dear students, for this you have to know the old structures of the past tenses, right? What is simple past, what is past continuous, what is past perfect? If you don't know the structure, if you haven't got experience about the tenses much, if you don't have the knowledge, information about it, you can't supply. So you have to know past perfect. What past perfect is? You know that simple past is verb plus V2 form, subject plus verb to an object. That is simple past. And what happens in past continuous? Subject plus was, were plus V4 plus object. And what happens in past perfect? Okay, had plus V3 should be there. So look here, how to make past perfect here. Look, what is the subject? Pemba is here. Okay, Pemba is the subject. Pemba. And to change this very verb into past perfect, had is needed because we are going to supply the past perfect tense here. So Pemba had. Okay, what is the verb form of finish? B3 form? Finish, finished, finished, finishing, finishes. These are the different verb forms of finish. So now we have to supply past participle form here. So Pemba had finished. Okay, Pemba had finished her assignment. Her assignments before her teacher arrived. Before her teacher arrived. Okay. Pemba had finished her assignments before her teacher arrived. So look here, the things, finishing activities, finishing assignment by Pemba was done earlier. So a little before the teacher arrived there, so had finished past perfect tense is supplied here, and her teacher arrived. That happened a little later. So arriving teacher is expressed in simple past tense, and the finishing assignment by Pemba is written in past perfect tense. Let's look another example that is asked many times in other essay. I'm going to present this very another example exactly relating to this very tense formation. Look. When the doctor arrived, the patient died. Full stop. Look, when the doctor arrived, the patient died. This is the question, and it was asked many times in previous SLC and SE as well. Look here again. Let's do analysis about the different activities. When the doctor arrived, the arriving doctor is an action, and the patient die. Dying of a patient is another action. And what happened is we have done earlier. When the doctor arrived on the bed of the patient had already died. So coming doctor or arriving doctor and passing or dying patient are happening before and after. So when the doctor arrived here, the patient had already died there. So dying of that very patient should be written in past perfect because it had happened earlier than the arriving doctor. So we have to write like this as we have done earlier. Look, when the doctor arrived, the patient had already died. So mainly already, just, etc. are used in perfect tenses. So supplying already becomes more effective here. So let's look at when the doctor arrived, the patient had already died. So dying, the activity to die by the patient, that was happened earlier than the doctor's arrival. So two actions happened together, but one was happened a little earlier. So happening earlier is written in past perfect tense, and the next happening is written in simple past. Hence, what has happened? When the doctor arrived, the patient had already died. So, dear students, such kind of tense agreements are asked in SE and SLC repeatedly. So you have to conscious about what type of activities are expressed in by using different types of tenses and sentences. You have to be clear. I think now you are clear about the use of simple past tense and past perfect by looking, by reading, by viewing these different examples I have shown on the board. I think you are clear about it, and there are many other tenses. Their uses are different. You have to know a lot about other sentences. So that's all about this very question number 4 for today. So this was about the use of the tense. Now let's go towards the question number 5. We have been doing the first part of the grammar, reproduction. So we have to reproduce, we have to generate the sentences or things according to the clues. And the fifth one is about Okay, the fifth question says, they have kept the books on the racks, change into passive. Okay, voice and narration, two things are left here. So in question number 5, there is given passive voice. Okay, question number 5. The question number 5 goes like this. They have kept the books. They have kept the books. They have kept the books on the racks. Okay, on the racks. And we have to change into passive voice. Okay, passive voice. Look, many students, not only the students, teachers also are afraid of voices and narration, direct, indirect speeches. But my dear students, these two items are very easy to learn if you are really interested. If you start from the beginning, these items are also easier items. Look here, they have kept the books on the racks. What happens while talking about the voice? There are two types of voice, active voice and passive voice. When the doer, when the agents are, when the actors are very active to do something, that becomes the active voice. Look here, they have kept the books on the racks. They means the subject. Many people, okay, they are keeping the books on the racks, so they are the active here because the doers are the prominent here, doers are important here. And then what? Another form of voice is passive voice. We say that type of voice passive, in which no agent is important, but action is the important there. So that type of voice is called passive voice. So altogether there are two types of voice, active and passive. And here active voice is given here, and we have to change into passive one. Now, my dear students, what you have to know that voices and then narrations, these are dependent on different types of tenses. So tense and sentence type and tense types, these are the backbone of English grammar. So you have to be so clear, crystal clear about the sentence type and tense. Look here, what type of tense is used here in this very voice? Look, they is the subject, have is the auxiliary verb, kept is the verb. What type of verb? B3. Keep, kept. Okay, verb 3, past participle form is used here. The books, object, on the racks, okay, double objects are there. The books and the racks, right? Double objects are there. And subject is they. So, can you tell me what type of tense is used here? Yes, you are well known about the tenses. Here, have plus B3. When there is has, have plus B3, that is present perfect. Okay? So, general rule for this very passive voice, what happens? Subject goes to the object and object comes to the subject. And then on the basis of the tense, there are different types of rules that you have done. So, in this very question, we are just going to change into passive. Look. Now there are two different types of objects, the books and on the racks. Let's take the first. Let's take the first object here, and let's make this very first object the subject. Okay, the books. Okay. It is the present perfect tense, And what happens? Have, has plus been plus B3. That type of rule is there. So present perfect, when there is present perfect tense, have been, has been plus B3. That type of thing is done. So look here. The books is plural. If there is singular subject has been written, but here the books, that is the plural subject. So we have to use the plural verb as well. So the books have been kept. The books have been kept on the racks. Okay. The books have been kept on the racks. As you have done in other things, by Ram, by Hari. Okay, here is the subject they. We don't know who are they. The subject is not confirmed. It is not definite. It is indefinite. It is not clear. Who are they? They mean 10 boys, Ram and Hari, students, teacher. We don't know. So when the subject is not confirmed, when the subject is not fixed, we don't have to use by plus blah blah. So it is not done here. So only the books have been kept. Why have been kept? Because it is present perfect tense. So in present perfect, has been plus B3, have been plus B3, and then what? And other objects comes there, and B3 is is made there. So the books have been kept on the racks. It is the solution of that very thing. Let's take a more example about this very thing. Look. Right, there are different rules about the tense-based form in voice. Let's make another one. Ram. Okay. But Ram, but a cow. Okay. Ram, but a cow. Ram is the subject, but is the V2 form, and main verb, and a cow is the object. Ram, but a cow. What type of tense is here? It is the simple past tense. Earlier there was present perfect. So let's be clear about the tense and how the voices are changed here. What is the subject? Ram is the subject, but is the verb, and a cow. So as I have earlier, subject goes to object and object comes to subject. It happens like that. Okay, so it happens like this. So a cow comes here. A cow. Okay, there isn't an auxiliary verb. Be verb is needed here, right? Okay, but is the V2 form. So a cow was, be verb plus V3 is written here. A cow was, and but. A cow was bought by Ram. Okay, a cow was bought by Ram. It happens because Ram but a cow is in simple past tense, and while changing this very sentence into passive voice, a cow becomes, that object becomes subject, a cow, and then be verb is was is here, and then verb 3 by but. Okay, verb 3 is the past participle form of by is used here, and by, who did the job? Ram is here. It is the definite, it is the fixed subject. So by Ram. Now we have changed that very simple past tense sentence into passive. A cow was bought by Ram. Okay, my dear students, voice is a very broad thing, and then every tense has its different rules, and in other classes we will discuss about it. But now for this very passive voice, that's all about this very thing, and it was given in the reproduction form of grammatical first part. Number 5 question was that we did in more examples as well. I think now you are clear about that very 5th question about passive. Now there is the last one of this very reproduction part. Perhaps that is about the narration, direct speech and indirect speech. Let's go towards that last item now. Number 6th number, it is the last for today's class. So the question says, okay, Mamata asked, where, was there a parking space? Mamata asked, the question goes like this. Mamata asked, was there parking space? Okay, was there parking space? Mamata asked, was there a parking space? Okay, is also there. Mamata asked, was there a parking space? Okay, this is the last question of reproduction part, and it is related to the narration, it is related to the speech. First of all, we have to know there are two types of speech, direct speech and indirect speech. If the things, whatever a person or a speaker says and are kept in the same form, whatever he says, whatever she produces are written, that is called, okay, direct speech. As we can see on the board, Mamata asked, was there a parking space? It is a direct. Why direct? Because whatever word Mamata uttered, whatever word Mamata told, was there a parking space? Same things are, okay, written here within double inverted commas, right? So it is the direct. Direct means what the speaker directly told, what the speaker directly expressed. Now we have to change into indirect. What happens in indirect? The message is transformed indirectly, but the direct words may not be there, but the message is real one there. Okay, for this we have to know what sentence is given there and what tense is given there in the given problem. Let's read the sentence again. Mamata asked, was there a parking space? Okay, my dear students, you have to know what type of sentence is it. Was there a parking space? Can you tell me what type of sentence is it? Oh, I know. You have already formed in your mind that it is an interrogative sentence, right? Interrogative sentence or question sentence. Question sentence. Again, earlier we also discussed today is that there are two types of interrogative sentence. One is yes no question and another one is WH question. So again, transforming from direct to indirect, again both questions have their different types of systems, rules and regulations. So here, was there a parking space? It is yes no question. It is yes no question. So for this we have to follow the things to do for the yes no questions. So another thing that you have to know, was there a parking space? What type of tense is here? Which tense is here? Think for a while. Oh yes, you have got the point. It is in the simple past tense. Right? Was there a parking space? It is in the simple past tense. Okay. When that is given, something is given in simple past tense, the simple past tense is changed into past perfect. Past continuous is changed into past perfect continuous tense, and past perfect and past perfect continuous tense are not changed while doing in transformation indirect speech. And then what about the conjunctions? Here in yes no questions, okay, in yesterday sentence we use that, in imperative we use to, and in yes no question if or whether, and when there is WH word questions are there, we use WH word say the conjunction. So it is a yes no question, so we have to use yeah, if or whether is the conjunction. So let's do Okay, like this. It is the question. So, having the question asked is the correct reporting verb here. Look, Mamata asked. Mamata asked. What is the conjunction here? What joining words should be used? Okay, it is the yesterday question. So, if or whether. Let's use if here. Mamata asked if. Okay. Now, what is the subject here? Was there a parking space? Here, there is the subject here. So, if there. Now we have to change this very tense into past perfect. So if there had, okay, was the be verb, okay, was, okay, and it is changed into been, okay, is, was, been, like that. So if there had be, was, been, it's from be, was, been. So if there had been a parking space, and finally full stop is provided there. Okay, Mamata asked if there had been a parking space. Now it is changed into, okay, indirect space. Let's do another simple examples how the tenses are changed into direct and indirect speech, and then we'll conclude all the things. Okay, let's look another example. Okay, Ram said, I am happy. Okay, Ram said, I'm happy. Earlier we did yes no question. Now here look, my dear students, Ram said, I'm happy, and when there is am, it is in the simple present tense form. Okay, I am happy. Ram says, I'm happy, and it is simple present tense and assertive sentence. Sentence and tense, these two things should be clear while changing into direct or indirect. So here it is the assertive sentence. For the assertive sentence, we always used that is the joining word. So let's change here. Ram said that. Okay, that is the joining word. Ram said that. I means who? Ram. Okay, Ram said that, and I means Ram said I, but we say he. So Ram said that he. And then what is the past form of am? The past form of am is was. So Ram said that he was happy. He was happy. Look here. Earlier, this very, okay, I'm happy was in simple present tense, but now we have changed, okay, he was happy, and simple present tense was changed into simple past tense, and many things are changed, dear students. Okay, the comma was omitted, double inverted commas are omitted, okay, and many things are there that you can, okay, looking here. So hence tense is changed into, okay, simple present tense is changed into simple past, present continuous is changed into past continuous, present perfect is changed into past perfect, okay, and then present perfect continuous is changed into past perfect continuous. Like this, the tenses are changed into different things. Okay, my dear students, today mostly we, okay, I hope to, okay, give some information about the SE question set of 2081, and that was asked in Koshi province, and mainly the reproduction part, grammatical first part reproduction, and it is asked for the 6 marks. It is very important because it is, there is the mathematical marks when you complete, when you can change according to the direction, you can get 6 marks, and it will be very beneficial to raise the grade later. So you can't miss this very portion, and then later in other classes we will try to do all the different kinds of activities about reading, about writing, about the next part of the grammar. So I think whatever I could do, I tried to make clear about the given things by supporting my own examples as well, and I think you will get the clear information about this very reproduction part of grammar. Okay, thank you very much for your watching, and then we will meet in all the classes later as well. Okay, this much for today. Thanks to all.